Okay folks, now I'd like to take a little bit of your time and I'd like to talk about wild medicinals. There's supposed to be 8 different wild medicinals in our area that we're supposed to document and talk about. So the first thing I want to talk about, just like I did with the wild edibles, is it's about learning about your area, learning about what types of wild medicinals you have in your area. I just picked up this book last night. It's the May to June 2016 edition survival guide. Okay, and you're probably wondering what that has to do with wild medicinals. That's because there's a nice article in this magazine that talks about that. So it talks about some of the plants that are good wild medicinals. So the reason I'm bringing all this up is because this is a good source of information. If you keep your eyes open, you know, I was just at Walmart walking around and I saw this and I picked it up because this is something I'm wanting to learn about. Wild medicinals. Talks about, there's mullein right there, I think. There's mullein leaves right there. Actually, that's one of them on my list. Looks like curly dock. Pretty cool. So this is one source of information. If you're new to this type of stuff, you can get magazines. Just look at the magazines and see, you know, if you see ads or something like that, you know, it's got a lot of information. So that's one source of information. Another source is obviously the internet. Again, the Peterson guides. Now the Peterson guide to wild medicinals has a lot of good colored photographs. The text is a little bit small, but it is packed full of information. So it's got a lot of information. So that's another source of information. Another book that I picked up was Rosemary. This is a good book. This lady, Medicinal Herbs. This is a beginner's guide. This is a good book. It's got great pictures. But the thing that I found about this one, it didn't have a lot of things. It only had a certain amount. It didn't have like 1,000 wild medicinals. It only had, I don't know, 20 or 30 or something like that. So there's my dandelions. They're wild edible too. So they're also known as a wild medicinal. So number 1 is plantain. It draws toxicities from the body. You can use it as a remedy for blood poisoning. Its rich nutrients stimulate the liver and cleanse the blood. The leaves can be chopped, mashed, and placed directly over the problem area. They can also be made into a strong tea, and a soaked cloth in the tea can be placed directly over the area. Can be used to help remove slivers that are too deep to pull out. Soak the area of the sliver in a hot tea for 20 to 30 minutes. They can also help check bleeding. Place the mesh over a wound until blood flow stops or slows down. As a tea or tincture, it can be used to help with heavy menstrual bleeding. It's nutrient dense, contains protein, starch, and a host of vitamins, and it's an excellent emergency food. So again, plantain, that's my first medicinal plant. You can also eat or boil the leaves. So it's an edible as well. Now the number 2 that I see on my list here is mullein. That was that real leafy, hairy looking leaf with the large stem up the middle that had a corncob kind of looking thing on the top. The leaf is both antispasmodic, expels mucus. Good remedy for deep-seated or spastic coughs, bronchial congestion, chest colds, allergies, and other ailments that involve the respiratory stress. Leaf can be rolled up and smoked as a treatment for asthma. Leaf is also making an effective poultice for boils, swelling of glands, bruises, insect bites. It can be added to a bath for relieving rheumatic pain. The oil is an effective treatment for ear infections caused by upper respiratory congestion. Just a few drops down each ear will relieve the pain in minutes and reverse the infection within a few days. Now, you can cook and eat the flowers and the seeds of mullein. Okay, so the flowers and the seeds are edible. Number 3 on my medicinal list is dandelions, right here. So dandelion root is a classic liver tonic or blood purifier with a stimulating and decongesting effect on the liver. It also encourages optimal digestion. The root stimulates the production of bile, which in turn helps break down cholesterol. Fat used as a mild diuretic, which means you're going to go pee, in cases of water retention and bladder or kidney problems. The flowers and stalks contain a milky latex that is helpful in getting rid of warts. Apply fresh latex directly on the wart several times daily for 2 to 3 weeks and watch the warts disappear. It's also a cancer-fighting element. You can also eat every part of a dandelion. So not only is it a medicinal, but it's also an edible. Now, number 4 on my list is milk thistle. I saw a lot of thistle today on my drive out here. It protects and improves the function of the liver. Young leaves with spines, remove the spines and eat them as a vegetable. Tea from the whole plant improves your appetite. It allays indigestion and restores liver function. It's used for cirrhosis, jaundice, hepatitis, and liver poisoning from the chemicals or drug and alcohol abuse. Did you catch that, folks? Thistle helps for drug and alcohol abuse. Stimulates the regeneration of liver cells. It's a strong antioxidant. You can also cook the leaves and eat them. Thistle is also good for depression. So not only is it a medicinal, but it's also an edible. Again, you can cook and eat the leaves of thistle. The thing that I want to note about thistle is it's not like a bright green color. It's kind of a whitish green. It's kind of a light green color. But that's a good example of thistle. Now this plant has a lot of good edible qualities to it. I believe this is milk thistle. So you can see that the leaves have these barbs on them. They're very sharp. It's almost a cactusy kind of plant. I'll try to zoom in and let you see right there these little barbs. So the idea is to take some gloves and harvest the leaves. And what you would do is you would take the leaves and you would cut off all of those little spines. And then once you get all those spines removed, you can boil the leaves, and it's a very good edible plant. Number 5, prickly pear cactus. That's abundant in my area. Flowers are yellow with orange inside them. Again, you can fillet the pads. Like I said earlier, you can cook the pads. But in this case, for a medicinal value, you can fillet the pads, and it says put the pads on the burns, okay, and then wrap them. You can also put it on wounds. Apply the juice of fruit to warts and drink the pad tea for lung ailments. Lab research suggests potential for increasing bone density. It boosts your immune system. Builds strong bones, teeth, fiber in the plant, helps regulate digestive process. Good for your heart, cancer prevention, weight management, relief from arthritis, gout, and muscle strain. It aids in eliminating constipation or bloating. It improves your vision. It's good for inflammation. And you can eat the fruit and the pads. So prickly pear is not just a medicinal, it's also an edible. Number 6 on my list is yarrow. It grows between June and September at elevations 5,500 all the way up to 11,500. It's known to be prevalent in northern Arizona. It's an antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, highly regarded for healing wounds, bruises, and sprains Apply it as a poultice directly to swelling. Used to stimulate delayed menstrual cycles. Helps relax and ease urine tension and menstrual cramps. Very effective at reducing heavy bleeding during menstruation. Stops bleeding. Put the mashed leaves right on the cut. Apply a thick poultice to deep wounds. One of the most versatile healing plants, nicknamed as a cure-all. It stimulates circulation, can be used for high blood pressure. Effective sweating remedy to bring down fevers. It intensifies the medicinal action of other herbs when taken with it. Achilles carried it with his army to treat battle wounds. I don't know if that's true or not. And on the yarrow, you can eat the leaves. They're edible. So yarrow is number 6 on my list. Number 7, jewelweed. 3 to 5 feet overall. Toothed leaves, lower leaves opposite. Upper leaves alternate. Flowers pendant-like with red spots. June through September. Found in wet, shady soil. Crushed leaves are pulpused on poison ivy rash that's recent. The leaf tea is used as a poison ivy rash preventative. Rub frozen tea in the form of ice cubes on rash as a remedy. Pulpus for bruises, burns, cuts, eczema, insect bites, sores, sprains, warts, ringworm. Jewelweed soap is a preventative for poison ivy, dermatitis, sumac or poison oak. So poison sumac or oak or poison ivy. So jewelweed is good for all those. Now, from what I've understood, I believe jewelweed grows close to poison ivy. So if you find poison ivy, you might find jewelweed. It's funny because that's kind of like a cruel joke, you know, by God. It's like, here's the poison ivy, but here's the remedy. Now it says here, according to my research, you can eat the leaves, you can eat the seeds raw, or you can boil the stems for at least 20 minutes. So jewelweed is, again, not just a medicinal, but an edible. Number 8 on the list is sunflowers. They grow anywhere from 6 to 10 feet high. They're found in prairies, roadsides throughout North America, used by Native Americans in the West. Flowers for tea, for lung ailments. Leaf tea, taken for fevers. The pulpus on snake bites and spider bites helps take the venom out. Seeds and leaves are a diuretic. Seed oils used for coughs, in bladder and kidneys. Leaves are formerly used to treat diarrhea. Seed sprouts are rich in simirin, considered an antioxidant and a hypoglycemic, suggested as a beneficial food choice for diabetics. So that's sunflowers. There's 2 things that I would like to bring up that aren't plants, but one of the good wild edible / medicinals is honey. So if you're out in the woods and you find beehive and you can get some kind of smoke around those bees, generally the smoke will stop the bees' pheromones. Like the bees, if they feel like they're being threatened, they'll put off a pheromone that'll send those bees after you. But if you bring in some kind of smoke, it'll calm their pheromone and their attack response away, because it'll make them believe that there's a forest fire, and then you can get some of their honey. It's excellent for edible, and it's excellent for medicinal. Another thing that comes to mind about a wild medicinal would be charcoal. Now it's something that grew, you know, it was technically a tree of a hardwood or some kind of wood that you burned and then it became a coal. The thing that I would recommend using charcoal for as a medicinal would be if you were suffering from some sort of food poisoning and you needed to vomit. You could take a small amount, generally about a teaspoon of charcoal, and that will generally induce vomiting. Now, I want to stress again that I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse. These are just wilderness remedies that I know of, I don't know how effective they are on the majority of people. I know that I've used it before and it's helped. It'll make you vomit. So take that bit of information at your own risk. I don't take any responsibility if you go out and you eat a cup full of charcoal. That's not my deal. That's on you at that point. So yeah, about a teaspoon would probably be the max that I would suggest. So folks, I want to say thank you for joining me today, Block 9, Module 1. I hope you got some good, useful information off of this video in reference to wild edibles and wild medicinals. Please feel free to leave comments down below, like this video, share this video, and if you like the content that you see on my channel, please hit that subscribe button. And stay with me for next time. We'll be talking about Block 9, we'll be talking about Module 2, and we will be talking about animal signs. It's going to be a lot of fun.